Hi guys! As promised, today we will be having a look at the Tier 6 American tank destroyer that isn't the celebrity, the M36 Jackson, aka the Slugger. Contrary to the Hellcat, I always did expect that I will like this tank destroyer, and I wasn't wrong, even if I did not do wonders in it. Now poor old Jackson is completely living under the shadow of the Hellcat, even if it's a really good machine on its own. And that's not surprising. The only main difference between the two is that the Jackson puts the weight on the armor instead of the speed. In almost every other aspect they are pretty much identical. It even gets a slightly better rate of fire on the 90mm gun the Hellcat is using as well, and I think it would be foolish to pass on an opportunity to shoot the enemy a bit more with that gun. Before we go on with the review, let me just point you towards the emergency exits if you want to escape to the gameplay. I have prepared the timestamps for you, as usual, in the description below. With that settled, let's see how the Jackson compares to its competition at Tier 6. Well, considering that it's pretty much a slower, better armored Hellcat, it just feels like a middle-of-the-road sort of machine. There is nothing really exciting about this TD, and while it's solid at Tier 6, it does not stand up that well to higher tier tanks as the Hellcat does. This is because although the Jackson is not slow, it cannot swoop around the battlefield going from ambush spot to ambush spot like the Hellcat does, and so it's easier to get cornered in this thing. Thus, you'll need to pick your spots very carefully to make the best use of your increased DPM. So let's have a quick look at the gun. And it will be truly a quick one, as the only difference to the Hellcats is that it gets to squeeze out half a round more per minute than its bigger sister does. Thus it has a flat 8-second reload between shots compared to the 8.5-second reload of the Hellcat. Otherwise it's the good old 90mm M3 again with its 160mm penetration, 240 average damage, 1.7 second aiming time, 0.35 meter accuracy. It is still a very solid gun, and it can get you over 2k damage easily if you give it enough targets. Coming up is the armor, which is a lot more exciting as this is the focus point of this machine. The hull from the front is quite tough, and the 140mm of angled front is second only to the 88 British tank destroyer in its tier. Unfortunately for the Jackson, it will end up in Tier 7 and Tier 8 games a lot, where this kind of armor won't stop much. And then we did not even mention the sides and rear of the hull, which are in true American style made out of paper at 25mm only. And to assault to injury, the turret is very similar to what the Hellcat has, meaning only 76mm of protection in the front, and also here 25mm in the sides and on the back. The upgraded turret at least gets a top hatch, meaning you are less vulnerable to HE and artillery in theory, but overall all this protection only means that you will go down slightly slower than the Hellcat, and it will probably bounce a couple of shots. It is by no means, however, meant for long-term battering, especially as you have just as low health at 560 HP as the Hellcat does at 550, and it will just help you out if you were a little bit slow getting back to your cover. Finishing with the mobility, the Jackson has a 42 km/h top speed, so it is by no means a slow machine, but I definitely would not call it agile. It also does not help that it shares the crappy turning speed of 30 degrees per second with the Hellcat, together with the abysmal turret rotation speed of 16 degrees per second. At least the view range is the same too at 370 meters, which is still very good, and the signal range is almost as good too with 650 meters with the top radio. So overall, the Jackson is good, but it does not have any special tricks up its sleeve. You play it like any regular tank destroyer, stay hidden and snipe. The DPM is quite alright, so you can do massive damage over time if you can keep feeding targets to your gun. And definitely don't get overconfident with your armor. Regarding equipment, also here I did go with gun rammer, camo net and optics. Though, in hindsight, on the Jackson binos probably would have been a better pick, as you don't move about that much as with the Hellcat. There are no news for the crew skills front either. Get 6 cents and camo, and then probably try to get clutch braking on it as soon as possible. So that was a quick overview on the Jackson. I think it's time we took it for a spin. Alright, so here we are in Prokhorovka in a standard battle. It's a tier 6 game, so should have some nice time shooting up all the same or lower tier enemies. Now, regarding the matchup, unfortunately it seems we are the underdog in these matches. We have two quite good players in KV-85s, and overall the experience and skill level of the other team seems a bit higher, but there is nothing lost at this stage. So, as usual, in Prokhorovka, I assume my sniping position here up on the tracks, and look at the map. Oh my god, this is going to be a fun game, isn't it? So all of the team is pretty much going down on the 2 line, and we are leaving the right side to me, a Crusader, a Chino, and a T-67. 2 of us on the tracks, 2 of us on the little island, so it's less than ideal. There is nobody going for the hill. And Crusader is just shooting about as he is bored. So far, it's not very promising at all. There is nobody going on the middle either to spot the enemy. So at this stage, I was fully expecting to lose this game hands down. The BDR guy is probably AFK as well, just to make it even more perfect. Now I definitely won't go alone and advance into the unknown, because I will be just easy prey for any of the tanks, especially the lights. Going with the others on the road doesn't make any sense either, because there are more than enough people there. Covering our asses and the entrance to the to our cap is probably the best thing we can do at this stage, and pray that the enemy doesn't come zerging down on the other side of the map than where 90% of our team went. So Crusader got bored as well and decided to join the main force, who is pushing ahead, and okay, here we go. Oh great, that's one of the better players, one of the KV-85s, and there is the other one. Excellent. Luckily, their attention is drawn to the team moving about at the side of the map, which allows us to quickly take them apart. And look at the DPM on this gun. This 90mm gun is still amazing. Okay, so I have been spotted, that's pretty much sure. I don't have 6th sense on this machine, so I had to move a little bit, because there is artillery in this game. Oops, here comes a visitor, and he gets tracked, so that's his death sentence right there. Okay, another one. And they are doing us a huge favor here. Basically rolling in front of our guns one by one. It's just making it easy. I really should be leading more here. Okay, now we got you. Excellent. Okay, one more up on the hill. I really like this position. It's easy to advance back into cover, the respective sides if we need to. And you can cover the hill, you can cover this little village area, you can cover the area along the tracks. You can even take shots on the 2 line if something gets through. And it's very easy to advance in the position where you are most needed. Oops, there is the flag bus is going on an adventure. What the hell is this guy doing? Okay, so the enemy team is not short of interesting players either. That's a tricky one. Nope, that was never going to hit. And I don't like that he's there. He's lighting us up. And oh, he has friends. That's the 88, so that will be a tougher nut to crack. And yeah, that was never going to work. Oh, here comes the enemy team. Bad side of a Stug. And again, look at the DPM. It's so amazingly good. If it has enough targets, we just bomb away on its cover. There we go. Easy peasy. And yeah, moving would be not a terrible idea, my friend. And now this 88. Oh, side. That's perfect. If the gun wouldn't miss. I try to aim for the commander cupola, just in case. Nope. You have to lead more than that with the gun. Oh yes, please stop at all. There we go. So, yeah. I have to admit, the enemy was really making it easy for us here. This game could have gone sour so very easily. And oh, there we go, we have been spotted, somebody is shooting at us, so it's not good. I decide to quickly go into cover. But first, a few cheeky shots and... Okay, well, if you are not interested, don't mind me if I'm taking you apart with my friends. This gun is so amazing. It's one of my best guns of its year, probably. Look at the damage, we are well over 2000 by now. Really, the enemy has made it easy for us this time, but hey. Sometimes you have to have those games as well, don't you? We took a beating. We have a damaged turret and damaged engine, so not really the most of mobile tanks at this stage. And come on gun, don't fail me. That's right, a little adjustment needed. And help. This is not good. But if he keeps on missing, I still have a chance, and there we go! Easy as pie. So that was Prokhorovka in the Jackson. I think our gun needs some time to cool off after all this shooting. We did score in total over 2600 damage, finishing off 4 of the enemy tanks. For this we got ourselves another high caliber award together with a first class mastery badge, and we could take home 42,000 credits and over 1000 base XP. We managed to finish first in all of the main aspects, damage done, XP earned and kills secured as well, so this was a rather fine game. Now of course the enemy team did not put up much opposition either. Apart from their platoon, nobody was having a good game there. Overall, we fired a whopping 48 shots in 7 minutes, and out of that we managed to get 25 penetrating hits, which is not that bad. We even did bounce a shot ourselves, which is always good to see. So that was a fun little turkey shoot. Let's see if we can get more kills this time. Alright, so this time we are on Tundra, in our M36 Jackson, and again, it's a tier 6 game. So it's no wonder that both games are actually where we are the top tier tanks. Cause honestly, I didn't find the Jackson to be really capable of holding a candle to tier 7 and tier 8 matches it gets into. That doesn't mean it's completely useless, but doing amazingly well in those games, it's pretty difficult. Or at least the stars really have to align. Now, looking at the team distribution, should be pretty well off here. I mean, we have most of the better players, so that's definitely something we are happy about. And I decide to come here and snipe, especially look out for enemies popping over those ridges just in front of us, because there is nobody on the hill, so we can expect some guys to come and see if they can take some shots. Now I have to admit, Tundra is a map which is not one of my favorites. It's not because it's a bad map, but... oh, that was a good one. But rather because I still have to learn this map. Like, I know the basic layout, but I still have to know, okay, with what type of vehicle, where I really should go in order to be as useful as possible. And it's not just the basic types of, okay, where do the heavies go, where do the tank destroyers go, because basics are easily learned, but to adjust it for the specific vehicle you're driving, that's the good one. We don't see him here, but yes! Covenanter is down. So that was a good one. And we are lucky here, because usually that little section on the eastern side of the map, around the between the 8 and 0 lines, gets a lot more attention from the enemy. And we have very limited forces over here, so we are lucky that we are not being overrun at this stage. Okay, so not so much luck here, so probably it's time to move. I don't want to wreck myself, so you have to track back a bit, and here we can easily get down. And there is that looks fooling around under the bridge, so we can say hello to him. Buongiorno. Oh, it's always fun. People get so much tunnel vision. It's amazing. And myself included, of course. But you can really exploit this by going for some flanking missions. And it's amazing, sometimes you get behind people and it takes 3 or 4 shots until they realize what's actually happening to them. Alright, so we have to move, and my idea is to either go up the central island, but even better if we can flank the guys Cromwell and the Hellcat who are still up there. That would be awesome. That would clear our flank, and then we could really advance towards the enemy camp. Oh, there is the Cromwell. That was a good shot. And he misses. So now we... oh, and we bounce one. The armor does work. You can take some punishment from similar lower tier enemies. Who's behind us? Oh, another Jackson. That's rather uncalled for, brother. And he gets the favor returned instantly by the 88. Unfortunately gets taken out. But he misses, and we don't. So that's good. Now let's see, there is a Hellcat who moved over, starting the archer. And Nashorn is up here. It's quite unfortunate, it's 10 versus 10, so... okay, now it's 11 versus 10, so it's quite tense. This looked to be a much easier match than the one it ended up to be. And as usual, blaming each other in chat. Gold noob. I never did understand that. I mean, gold is available for credits. So-called gold ammo, so not using it would be strategically questionable choice in my opinion. I always carry a couple of rounds, and there are situations when it's just so much easier to break through the enemy lines. But I don't use much. Mostly I try not to use any. But sometimes, especially when I'm up against heavier opponents, higher tiers than me, I use my usually 5 rounds of ammo and quickly break through them. And more often than not, it actually helps to turn the tide of the battle. Alright, so enemy Talk 2 is down as well. And this looks much better now. There is a Nashorn here somewhere. Where is he? Oh, there we go. And he was angled well against us. Of course, he didn't know about that. But now he definitely knows we are here. So I see if I can get some cheeky shots up top. And let's see. He has proxy spotted, so he knows exactly we are coming. And yep, I shouldn't be doing this. He gets my side, but we get another shot into him. Well, we get finally a shot into him. And I switch here to HE, thinking about if I can catch his squishy sides. That should do some reasonable damage. To be honest, I'm not sure if I can one-shot him even if it penetrates. So in hindsight, it should have taken... yeah, barely do 100 damage. It's not good, but we have better DPM than he, so there we go, he's on fire. He kills us, but fire takes him out. And that was the final kill. So, cheated. So that was another reasonably enjoyable game on Tundra with the M36 Jackson. Before we successfully knocked each other out with that Nashorn, we managed to score over 1700 damage and claim 5 kills, just short of another Top Gun. How unfortunate. Either way, that was another first-class performance, so I really should not be complaining that much. We got to take home this time 33,000 credits and 900 base XP, finishing first by number of kills and second by damage done and XP earned behind our KV2 driver, who had a pretty good match as well. Our aiming was finally a bit better too, as we managed to score 9 penetrating hits out of the 10 shots fired. We did also bounce another 2 shots in this game, so you see the armor under the right circumstances is working, but you are in no way an impenetrable fortress. So that was my short review on the M36 Jackson. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I know this week I did a bit overload on the American TD reviews, so next week we will mix it up a little bit, and we will bring some new episodes on the LOL compilations and the map guide series, and for sure there will be some SPG action too. Have a nice weekend, guys, and I see you next week in one of the next videos.